What's up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video, and we'll see if I can make this pretty short because I'm working on something. This we'll see if I can make this pretty short because I'm working on something. This may be something I talk about um a little bit more, on the weekend when I get that opportunity, maybe Friday when I get some panel members. But I'll put the link in my community tab pretty soon. But pretty much, Snoop apologized to Gayle King. I actually made sure I heard the video. I saw it on TMZ, so I was like, okay, is it a headline? Let me go ahead and check the actual video out. And then yeah, 30-second video. He apologized because of course he did. And um there was a I think it was Mella on Donnie's channel when we was talking about this yesterday, that she outright said he shouldn't have said it. And I'm of two minds of that, but to be honest with you, I'll say this: if you're gonna apologize for something, then don't fucking say it. I've never understood. I understand why white people do it because it's like one of their ways of kind of saying some crazy shit and getting away with it. But when you're a black man, quite frankly, if you're gonna say some shit, stand on that shit or just don't say shit. I'd rather you be like Michael Jordan and just don't say shit. Just don't say shit if you're not gonna stand on it when the heat comes on. Now, am I surprised? Absolutely. I'm not surprised because at the end of the day, Snoop Dogg is a product of the system. So, and being a product of when I say the product of the system is when you look at any male celebrity, especially when you're a black man, you are allowed to have shit in that industry. And they will do whatever they need to do. They can use your celebrity against you and remove you. And that heat was felt. Maybe somebody gave them that phone call or whatever. But I will say this, and this is why I wanted to do the video. Gayle ain't apologized for shit. Nobody apologized. Nobody's apologized to Kobe's family. Nobody's apologized for slandering his name. Not even the folks that work for the helicopter company that Kobe and other NBA players get their pilots from. They're not supposed to fly in the fog, according to that company's policies, for what I'm to understand. So that didn't have to happen, but it did. So again, you know, this just goes to let you know what the pecking order is. And the reason why I bring this shit up is because as a black man, when you really understand, like you really see what the fuck is really going on and in how complicit that a lot of people are in it, when people want to come out here and talk about what you need to do for a community that is only looking at shit one way, and the only thing they ever want to do something, if they do anything, if they speak on anything, at the end of the day serves their interests. In the end of the day, no wonder motherfuckers are low key going. I'm gonna start calling it silent SYSBM, which are dudes that are pretty much operating on SYSBM, but don't even call it SYSBM because they're not on YouTube, or folks that say SYSBM online or whatever, and people get mad that they're encouraging other brothers to pretty much just say fuck it, as far as like worrying about anything that doesn't benefit them. Um, this is why that happens because at the end of the day, man, you know, look, I'm not trying to talk shit about Dre. Shout out. I don't have a problem with Dre, but I just want y'all to understand that Dr. Dre, there's things out there on Dr. Dre that is very known that he's done. But because Dr. Dre is under D. Jimmy Iovine, Dr. Dre is protected. And when that stops being the case, that will stop probably being true. But we want to talk about, like, I was looking at an article where even very smart brothers were there. They're a bunch of moist ass dudes, but they even said, the problem is not Kobe. The problem is that Snoop Dogg hates black women. And see, the problem is when you look at a guy, and this is why I mentioned Jason Black and Tariq Nasheed. This is why I mentioned those two, and it seemed like it was a side in my other commentary. But this is why I mentioned them, because at the end of the day, they can kind of get a feel for like making shit happen, and they like to take credit for shit. And sometimes that is warranted, but at the end of the day, when they were talking, like it's particularly Jason Black, when he was talking about, oh, Snoop Dogg, people that he know listens to us, and this is just, paving the way, and there's a sea change, and men are being men, and women have been waiting for men to be men. That shit was like that 15 minutes when he was saying this shit. I'm like, all that shit's bullshit. All that shit's bullshit. Because the women are basically invested in the society as it is. They're not in this thing called, they don't care about this thing called white supremacy, and they want to separate themselves. Most black women only give a fuck about anything Jason Black is talking about, and I said most because they want to control the sexual real estate of black men. That's it. When they realize that the real world is not in alignment with that, they're fucking on that niggas ain't shit bullshit too. So when him and Tariq and they try to play this game like there is no gender divide, there is no separation. Oh, that's just the government trying to exasperate that. Sure, that may be true. But at the same time, they are exasperating something is not creating something. All that is basically expanding what's already there. That's all it is. It's like when you exploit something or you say you expose, you're exposing what is already there. You didn't create something, you're exposing it, you're expanding it. That's all it is. And, you know, it doesn't, I still stand by the shit I say, but, I can stand by the shit I say, because I'm not beholden to like media that can kind of collaborate and then say, oh, you hate black women. And then now that's going to fuck up your money. Nobody wants, see, notice how he ain't even fighting all that. He ain't nobody standing on that because these dudes know they the first dudes to go. Heterosexual black men know they the first dude. That's why you got Dwayne Wade doing the dumb shit he's doing. When you look at all of this, like, and it's not even just what you see in the surface, it's what's behind it, it becomes very clear what you're dealing with. And see, the problem is what you have are basically your women. Because here's the truth. The truth is a woman that wants to act like she's woke, or a woman that wants to act like, she knows what it is. I can tell when motherfuckers are just placating black men, say, "Ooh, I care about black men. I love black men." I can tell when that shit's genuine, when that's bullshit. Because one of the things that any woman that is truly aware of what's going on in this society should know that really the only motherfuckers, black men are not capable of really checking black women in this society. Because what's going to happen is, take white people off the table, other black women, it doesn't matter who he's. That's why I made sure I brought that up with Snoop Dogg, because I wanted you to understand it doesn't matter how much nigga juice you have. It doesn't matter how much that you're with a black woman and how long you've been with one. It doesn't matter what you do for it. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, your place is a black man, and you do not have the ability to control shit. This is why I keep saying black men are incapable of compelling their women to do anything because we don't control the pieces. That's what it is. So by definition, that this is why you have a community that you have, because the women are always going. I mean, and it's the women are always going to gravitate who has the most power. So they may not outwardly do it because they can't be white, but what they do is they will draw power from the white community in order to control the black community. Because that's a female thing. Just like how white women use black men and the black dick to try to sexually like try to sexually control white men, the ones that were willing to do that. You see it in a lot of different vectors, but the point is, at the end of the day, you are at black men. They as a collective group, it doesn't matter what any pro black tries to tell you about black men, like just magically and through the grace of Jesus or through the grace of the elders or whatever the fuck they want to tell you. If they just lead women, that's a lie. Black men can never lead as long as they're in a society where the society is primarily based on the metric of keeping black men not where they are. If you want to see black men lead, you need to take your ass to Africa, or you need to take your ass somewhere else where black men are the numerical majority. You're gonna have to put yourself in a situation where you can't run to nobody else, where black men are the only men you that's there. That's just what it is. Now, what about other groups? Well, other groups see themselves as like white or pseudo white, so it's not the same metric. It's not the same metric, and also they don't come from the same kind of background we come from. But I'm not surprised that Snoop Dogg did that. I'm not surprised at all because you already saw it coming. Because even with 50 Cent, he was being a little tiptoeing back. Like they say something because they're mad, and it's like it doesn't. And it's just tell you, it doesn't matter what's right or what's not right. It just doesn't. And this is why when a lot of these women they want to tell you to do something for them or for the community. I'm like, what community? You all are not even willing to be honest about how the community is really structured. Because if dudes see that, dudes is gonna say, well, fuck it, I might as well bounce. Because they're gonna realize it's not your community. The community doesn't belong to you. So we play this game by which nobody can speak about it because you want to be woke, but you won't want to tell the truth. And this is a lot of shit that people don't want to talk about. Well, I mean, Susan, like, it's not even about Susan Rice. I mean, at the end of the day, they all got their shit. But stuff like that is like what I like to point out because when people see, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And they say why, like, it makes no sense. It doesn't make no sense because you're not paying a fucking attention. No, of course, Susan Rice is not going to apologize because she's not beholden to black men. Nobody's beholden to black men. Snoop Dogg is beholden to quite a few different people, but he's not beholden to black. But he's not, and that's not the government either. The government did not make Gayle King do what she did. The government is not the media coming. That's not what it is. Oh, like I was going to say before, if you're really woke in this society, then it should have been other black women. This should have been going hard against Gayle King. And people would say, "Oh, that's a stretch because she's with a he was with a non-black woman." Well, I mean, Bill Cosby with Camille, but it doesn't matter because he fucks non-black women. So I mean, at the end of the day, then we just need to call it what the fuck it is, and you go ahead and do you, and I do me. Because if it's gonna be, oh, well, you need to just fuck me and validate me, then I'm like, bitch, y'all can just go on ahead. Because here's the thing. You can have these celebrity females or these females mixed chicks like Susan Rice, but the reality is the vast majority of black women ain't gonna get to play and never and play in white land. They're not gonna get to do that. So if black men just skip out and they just start bouncing, the vast majority of white black women are gonna be fucked because y'all not going because let's be clear here, the white men that most of you all are going to get, especially the ones that are not at 8, 9, or 10, that are outside of that, are going to be white men that, quite frankly, y'all might as well be by yourself because they ain't gonna do shit but give y'all a mixed kid. Yeah, Snoop did bend the knee. I won't cut to the chase. I won't say they bug broke Snoop. I won't say that. Especially when you got Dwayne Wade doing what the fuck he's doing, cut to the chase. I'm not gonna call that buck breaking. I will say he bent the knee, but I'm not gonna say buck break. What they got for because at the end of the day, we got to give credit for Snoop Dogg raising some kids that's got some fucking sense. Hell, I would put Will Smith more closer on the buck breaking shit than I would necessarily. I would put Snoop. But again, you got to remember, um, it's important for y'all to understand this shit works. So and again, it works because it's not just white people. They made you notice what they did. They basically said that this was hatred against black women. So now every time they get mad at a black man, what they're gonna do is if a black man is, and especially as celebrities, because they all done did it. If celebrities are fucking non-black women, they're gonna highlight that to show that they hate black women, because that's how black women take it. And even if they don't fuck non-black women, they're just gonna say that they hate black women, and there's gonna be enough goofy females and goofy dudes that's gonna co-sign that. That's how white supremacy is practiced now. Just go ahead and say they hate black women, and because you got all these black females that feel like that anyway, they're gonna believe their dumbasses are gonna believe that they're being heard. When in actuality, black women are being used as a weapon against black men for white supremacy. This is very obvious. But nobody wants to talk about that because Jason Black now Tariq, they all want to stay away from gender. So they're not gonna they want to talk about division. Well, guess what? That shit worked. Because you all are not really being honest about what's really going on in the ground. They want to frame gender divisions as just these are weak niggas, these are beta niggas. Coon dudes are really just weak men that they coon with white society. No, that's what black women do that shit a lot more than black men because they don't even allow enough black men to get away with that shit to even for that to be a viable vector. They don't. So let's see. I mean, yeah, of course he did. Of course he did. I mean, a black. I mean, of course he did because that's what the look. I'm not. This video is not to denigrate Snoop Dogg. This video is to show you it doesn't fucking matter how much money you got. It ain't like Snoop is making music. Think about it. Snoop ain't making music. What is really Snoop doing? I mean, honestly, when it comes to marijuana being legal, Snoop should be vastly accelerating how much money. His whole career was predicated on his brand with that. It shouldn't even matter. It shouldn't even matter. But it does. Snoop has been out of me. I mean, he do commercials here or there, but Snoop ain't really doing shit. At the end of the day, you see what I'm saying? But see, that don't matter. It ain't no such thing as you getting your money and you getting positions. See, Professor Black Truth talked about this. He talked about this a while ago, like not like a week, 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, talking about celebrities don't build power. Y'all might want to go check that out. How celebrities build everything but power. King Sigma, it was always about Gayle's unethical and yellow journalism. What Susan Rice did was deplorable, and imagine it was a male U.S. ambassador. Well, King Sigma, what you got to understand is number one, notice how absolutely nobody in the media actually, they acted like that tweet just didn't happen. They said she did it, but what was behind that didn't matter because right now they're using that to go against Snoop. Now, depending on what the conservatives want to do, because right now Susan Rice, nobody gives a fuck about what Susan Rice did in Benghazi and all them laws and shit. Nobody really gives a fuck. I don't, no, I'm not gonna pretend like I'm an expert on that shit, but nobody gives a fuck because she's not in office. And quite frankly, Susan Rice, yeah, maybe she may get back in office when the next Democrat is one of the if the next Democrat gets in office, but that shit's only gonna come out. That's politics. That shit don't mean shit. Just like how Trump being impeached don't mean shit. It goes both ways. So again, if you're a black man, you're at the bottom. As far as Gayle's yellow journalism, I mean, you got a lot of but look, let's keep it real. It's probably like 60-40 as far as I'd say 65-35 as far as black women that support Gayle because they see a black woman, they see a black woman being attacked. And that goes again, that myth of white womanhood shit is serious. Because they're gonna always say, well, the white women not getting attacked. So da da da. This and what's crazy about this is when you hear a lot of these people that talk about black empowerment and stuff, they won't address all of this shit. They just want to make it like this shit don't happen. And we're just gonna talk like people on YouTube. But whatever. But absolutely. But they didn't even they flipped it. And again, this is about really seeing how this shit works. Remember what I said. Social media is the ultimate social survey. It lets you see how stuff works. So if you look at the last 3 weeks, and we're going into like a month now, and at the end of this month, 3 weeks, right? To how this shit played out. There is a clear timeline. The event happened. And not only did the event happen, the other event happened with Gayle. Well, we even forgot about the Naker thing. Then all of a sudden you want to talk about somebody's charges. And this stuff, and basically all of this is slandered Kobe's name. When people think of Kobe dying, Now people for the next couple of years are gonna think about this random white bitch. There ain't nobody in the scene. There ain't nobody that brought up just the shit. And a lot of people that are young that don't even know about this shit are gonna assume that there was something that really happened. Now, if I would ask anybody about Roethlisberger's sexual issues, nobody would know about that because that's been covered up. And my thing is too, this is not about black women. This about see y'all got to understand. My channel is really the reason why I talk about black women to the extent that I talk about them on my channel is because black women are the Trojan horse. Black women can do the most damage because they're the ones that are closest to us. You see what I'm saying? Black men, when you look at actually what black men do and how black men go through life, pussy, all of that. Number one, their dicks are usually the biggest thing that gets them vulnerable in anything. And if it's not non-black women, which usually it actually ain't, it's gonna be black women that's closest to it. When you look at people that's in our household, how you were brought up, that's all that's majority black women. I don't understand as far as where you're vulnerable at. All of your vulnerabilities, for the most part, are there. That's why they get talked about as much as they do. But outside of that, there's other vulnerabilities as well. And you got too many black men walking around here on autopilot, not knowing they're walking through a minefield, not even knowing it's a minefield. Hell, you got niggas that act like they surprised that they gonna make it till 30. That's how bad it is. That's you don't hear that as much anymore, but that's what you used to hear in the 90s and 2000s. Man, I'm just shit. I'm happy to make it to 30. That's how hopeless it is. Who have a job? If you're talking about Susan Rice technically does not have a job, but the media is not going to throw Susan Rice under the bus for Snoop Dogg or for any black man. Let's keep that real. Number two, now if she would have threatened a white man with that, that'd be different. That may be a little different. Um, um, but you gotta recognize that. That's why when these chicks, these 92s be crying about their inability to get a brother, this is why these 92s, this is why you gotta take that shit with a grain of salt. Because this is the type of shit they operate on. They think they owe. This is the mindset. As far as Gayle is about to get a salary increase. No, I'm not saying it does. I'm not saying that. The reason, no, this is an important. I'm not saying, Chris, the God said, I don't give a fuck if Snoop apologized or not. It has no bearing on the U.S. Continuing on the good fight. That's on us. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, I'm not saying this is a defeatist thing. I just wanted to point that out once I saw that. I wanted to point it out because you kind of hear because now the picture came up of obviously 50 Cent with Gayle. You gotta understand, man. And I know y'all don't think this way, but I'm saying this for regular people. If you look for celebrities for leadership, you're an idiot. It is Buck Baker Week, Dwayne Wade, Snoop. But like I said, I don't put Snoop in that category because I mean the Dwayne Wade thing, that's something that's got to be covered too, because that people want. Here's what's funny, I hear Professor Black Truth and Jason Black, and I fuck with them heavy. I'm not sitting there. I'm just calling out differences. They talk about Charlize Theron a lot, and they should. They definitely should. But now I don't see the difference between Charlize Theron and Gabrielle Union and fucking Dwayne Wade. I just don't see the difference anymore. Not don't even get me started on the dude on Sesame Street. Well, I mean, I'm gonna tell you what Susan Rice really fucked up Black Huru strikes. Um, you know, shit like that is why what Susan fucked up is she's in the Obama administration. And shit like that is when you start finding black men gonna be like, why the fuck am I voting for the Democrats if y'all go act the same way as the Republicans? Hell, I might as well vote with the how the fuck I feel then. I'm not on this gay shit. I'm not on this immigrant shit. Hell, if they racist, I might as well vote for them. Or what most black men are gonna do is stay their ass home. I mean, that's sad to be honest, because no, because if you want post career fame, King Sigma, like you can be a fucking sports commentator. Like, what the fuck do you want to do? First of all, just the very fact that he got with Gabrielle Union, who's 10 years his senior, should have kept him in the game. So, I mean, I don't know if that's what it is. But that could be what it is. I don't know, but I just know like what you're start like this is Francis Quest Wilson type of shit. I mean, no, I mean not a black man. I mean a white dude could have probably did that and got away with it, but a black man couldn't. King Sigma. But y'all gotta remember, a lot of this is about you all understanding the environment that you're in so you can navigate it. Because you will have to navigate it. It ain't no and you a lot of people gotta come to realizations. A lot of people like to write shit off, even though shit just keeps happening over and over and over and over again. Um, but it is what it is. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, what was this is what Snoop did. What Snoop did by saying that, a lot of dudes heard that, and it really was a shot across the bow. Him bending the knee, yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter because dudes are aware. And not only that, when you saw how all these women kind of came at him, particularly black women, and you saw how the media came at them, that was good temperature gauge. That really lets you know how they gonna come at brothers, how they'll come at brothers, how everybody will try to unite, and how all you got non-black people trying to talk about black men hate black women. So yeah, they didn't kind of reveal how they gonna play. And the reality of the situation is, it's I'm gonna keep it real. It's on black women to shut that shit down. If black women want a community, they're not going to be able to keep on playing this game about they're going to have to operate like other women operate, which you don't allow you yourself to be used as a weapon against your men. But that's the problem, right? You're gonna have to admit some things in order to do that. That's the issue. The issue is black women act like they're victims and black men victimize them when in actuality it's actually in reverse. It's actually in reverse. But they'll never admit that. So if nothing changes, nothing changes. That's another exactly Sigma, and that's another thing. Said Sigma said, notice how all the black male celebrities are either being sent to jail or their kids are A to Z degenerates. Number one and number two, notice how many black men came out to come at Snoop Dogg as well. Notice how there is no shortage of black men that are willing to basically play the I'm for black people because I'm for black women card. That's literally Obama playbook shit. Notice that. Nah, I won't say all that. I won't say all that. Cause I mean, because again, man, X climactic, you gotta look at it in the barometer. Look, if you look at Dwayne Wade is completely off the chains, you can't then say just because Snoop Dogg walked some shit back that that's the same shit. Because first of all, people like Dwayne Wayne and shit would have never said that. I'm gonna keep it real. You got to give somebody credit for throwing that shit out there. Now I like you got so I'm not even like this is the type of shit you see. Folks can't be always like pendulum swing. But that event, well, I won't say that, Young Jay, as far as Tariq she because Tariq she does still call her shit out. But you got to remember, dudes are not. One thing y'all got to remember as black men is that we don't and this is the same thing with the women too, but the difference with us is there is no market. O'Shea has talked about this. There is no market for black men to just draw from. We do not have a united like economic network. We just don't. And there are certain things that are incredibly difficult to do when it's impossible to do if you don't have that. You don't even need a lot of numbers. You just don't. And we look at celebrities way too much because the reality is you deal like let's say you got like 30 brothers and 30 brothers, the average of those brothers are making like five like they're worth like $500,000 or something like even a small number like that. When you look at what they can do as a network and behind the scenes, they're gonna have certain powers and abilities that it's gonna take a lot of people, a lot of shit to actually counteract because they have a united front in their own kind. And we're not even talking about dudes that they act the same and operate the same. We're talking about dudes that are just on the same page on certain things. You know, this is where why when you hear motherfuckers talk about, see, think about it this way. When you hear dudes that actually will try to tell you SYSBM is weak because they operate in a group, this is how you know these dudes don't know what the fuck they're talking about. First of all, SYSBM does not operate in the group like they say they do. But let's say they did. There's power in numbers. And these niggas don't understand that. And the Snoop in this situation with Snoop Dogg is perfectly example of what that is. Same thing with Dwayne Wade on the opposite side. But and I'm not look, interdependent is the name of the game. Not know 100% I'm on an island, so look at me. No, that's not how you want to do it. Robert S. Smith is a Robert S. Smith is a billionaire, but you got to understand he owns a conglomerate. Kobe Bryant had a team behind him. And until you can put a team behind you, you need to build and develop a team. One of the biggest lessons in Think and Grow Rich is they say one of the biggest metrics by if somebody's going to have success or not have success is their ability to plug into groups and work with other people and develop groups. You're right, Red Pill Archer. The list is growing of black male gangsters who are bending the needs of black women authority. Yeah, and and I mean, I didn't, I'm not surprised. Like y'all talk about y'all lost respect, but I haven't been surprised because y'all can have your opinions, absolutely. But shit like this, I love it because it lets you know you cannot and see what this is what people gonna try to call. You gonna start seeing people when this shit starts getting blindingly more obvious. What you're gonna start seeing is you're gonna start seeing motherfuckers try to call it white supremacy. They're gonna try to say it ain't a gynocracy, it's white supremacy. That's what it is. It's white supremacy doing this, which is true, but they won't add the other step talking about the other vector that really is like administering a lot of that shit. They won't say that. They won't say that Dwayne Wade wasn't doing this dumb shit until he got with Gabrielle Union. They won't say that Gabrielle Union is 10 years his senior. Who the fuck does that look like leading that relationship? Honestly. Look at Sierra. They are. It's kind of like think about it like in the CIA. You know, in the CIA, you have the person that's in the field, and then they have their not their commanding officer, not their CO, but they have their handler, and the handler is the person. What was that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Russell Crowe? Russell Crowe was the handler. He was the guy with the experience, and he was the one that was dealing with what the dude that was in the CIA on the field, and then he was kind of like a middle manager. But he worked for the CIA. He was the one that made the decision who got cut and who didn't get cut when it came to who they were working with as far as other foreigners and what they were promising them and shit like that. Yeah, black women are your handlers. They're the ones that are supposed to keep your ass in check before them white folks come and get involved. And you see that absolutely in Dwayne Wade's relationship. You see that in a lot of different relationships. You're right. You know, money does talk, but you're supposed to develop enough money. I'm not saying where you can start making money on your own without their fucking help. That's the one thing that's common amongst all these black celebrities. Is they can't make money without them. They can't make money outside of the Hollywood economy. That's why Kobe Bryant was why I got respect for him, because Kobe Bryant was about to do some shit on his own. Yeah, what's up, Roastmaster? Yeah, you're right. We should boycott Gayle. Black men should be like, I'm not dealing with Gayle. But then you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna say, oh, well, you hate black women. That's what they're gonna try to frame it as. That's gonna be, I'm telling you, that's gonna be something you're gonna hear a lot more often. You're gonna hear them either directly or indirectly try to say you hate black women as a mechanism to control black men. You're gonna hear that. You're all, and you see that a lot of black women are on board with that. Now, here's the problem with that though. The problem is they can this, and this is where a lot of sisters fuck up. You can, they're not gonna allow you to say that a black man hates black women just off the strength of a black man not dating black women. They're not gonna do that because of genetic gentrification and assimilation. So black women are gonna have this opinion that they can just push that on anything, where it's only going to be certain times where that gets sanctioned, and they're not going to understand that. This is why they're so fucking confused now, because they're like, why are you agreeing with this, but on this it's like you quiet about it? It's because no, they're using you. You just don't understand that. I do respect that, January. I didn't know that about Dark King Sigma. And a lot of y'all got to get more strategic about understanding what's going on, and stop being willing to just throw somebody under the bus. Oh, he fucked up. He spread them cheeks. He did that, because that's y'all. Y'all are kind of dismissing what's actually going on. I mean, he did, but at the end of the day, you know what? Maybe Snoop needs to do an interview. But see, the problem with doing an interview with Gayle is, number one, you validate Gayle King, and number two, they can cut it up any way they want to cut it up. That's the issue. Hey, yo, somebody block that sweet lady bitch. These fucking phones only let you do that shit like every once in a while, but somebody block her ass. Cause she's saying some random shit. You want us to put our capes on? Nope. I'm not even gonna entertain that dumb shit. Because at the end of the day, like I said, the one thing that black women can't control black men is black male choice. No, I didn't know that. I didn't know she was. I knew the American University thing. I didn't know the board of Netflix. No, this is not. This is on my phone. I should did the stream, but this is on my phone. Yeah, what's up, Charles? Yeah, Body of Lies is the movie. It's a good movie. What's up? Yep. What is up, Charles? I mean, you know what? I'm gonna keep it all the way real. It's not even about, you know, the funny thing about it is the one thing y'all that's the problem. You can't control choice. And things like this is just the marching drum. And like, dudes, this is stuff is starting to peter into the mainstream now. And the more that happens, the more dudes is gonna be like, I'm out. And people can say that's part of the plan, but at the end of the day, dudes ain't falling on a sword like that no more. Because what a lot of black men are gonna see is a lot of black men are gonna see it don't matter what the fuck you do and who the fuck you are, you still a nigga, even in your own community. So you might as well do what the fuck you want to do. If it don't benefit you, it don't matter. Like if that relationship don't benefit you, it don't matter. So that's why when you got that dumb bitch up in there talking to, I ain't gonna mention her name, talking that shit. No, black women have already been caping. Yeah, y'all ain't nobody. That's what I'm saying. Dudes are gonna be doing them, and it's gonna seem increasingly dumb for you to do otherwise. Yeah, I had to think about that Black Huru because I was like, they could cut it up, they can do a lot of shit, but he might do an interview because you got to remember he gonna try to remove that pressure. And that's sad. Now I'm gonna tell you, if he do an interview with her, then you can talk about spreading butt cheeks. Yeah, Charles. I agree. I think because Charles, I personally think that at the end of the day, this ain't about hating black women, but she's marked. Like dudes are watching her ass now, so every little thing she do. And another thing that's gonna happen too is dudes and people are gonna, at least in the social media realm, are gonna start looking at who is this bitch. Like they're gonna start looking at her track record. But now anything she does, as far as got to do, like people gonna be paying to do, people gonna be paying a little bit more attention than they were paying before. So don't think. And then another thing is, a lot of black men are peeping how a lot of black men are peeping how they just made this a gender issue. And like I said, Tariq is trying to make it seem like they failed to do that. No, that shit worked. As you can see with what Snoop did. It is like this idea that you all keep trying to act like there's no gender problems in the black community. You all are in fucking denial. You and I know they're not that stupid. They because I've heard especially Jason Black. I've heard his work. So at the end of the day, man, it don't really matter. It's like my thing is, it don't matter. You can frame. That's why when he does mention red pill, he tries to make all these just niggas that can't get women and these incels. I'm like, okay, you can say that shit if you want to, but you know, ain't nobody hearing what the fuck you gotta say. The burden is not on black men to convince you of shit. The burden is on you to convince black men to stay. I don't care if they pay or not pay. Yeah, that is true, Charles. That is true. You're absolutely right. And that's why I'm not like throwing Snoop under the bus for that. Because at the end of the day, the damage is kind of done. The damage is done. Because even if you look at it like, okay, well, like now like this guy, you gotta remember this guy Nocracy shit that people have been saying on YouTube. You can't just say, oh, that was white people. You had black men. Fuck, take the women off the table. You had if I'm gonna say it like if this was just white supremacy, if it was just white supremacy, then you would not just have you wouldn't have black men like Martin Lamont Hill, Michael Eric Dyson, and all these others trying to play this game and try to frame it from a gender issue. So you can't then like even if you take the women off the table, because women are going to do what, like, it's expected that certain, and a lot of black women are going to feel attacked because that's a black woman. But you can't explain to me why them dudes did that. Then you have to look at the fact that these were liberals that did that. These were not conservative. These were liberals. These are so-called the liberal side. Morning Joe is a Republican, but they're more on the liberal side. And at the end of the day, again, what do you have? South Carolina comes the 29th. South Carolina is where the black folks vote. And I'm telling you, well, I'm not looking for who the fuck they vote for. I'm looking to see what is their turnout compared to previous years. Because if their turnout is not high on somebody like Trump, then that says a lot. And a lot of black men gonna stay their ass home. And if these Democrats keep fucking off, a lot of them gonna stay home to the point where a lot of these politicians get removed. Because motherfuckers gonna be like, fuck it. And another thing you gonna gotta remember is, anyway, hell no, Susan Ray didn't apologize to Snoop. No, King Sigma, I'm on my phone. I'm not on my computer, so I can't drop the link. Well, I mean, Rice exposed herself. Snoop, like Rice came out of nowhere, and I don't give a fuck about Susan Rice. I don't give a fuck about Susan Rice, But I don't give a fuck about Susan Rice. I really don't. Susan ain't running for public office. She got her white man. She doing her bullshit. It is what it is. But what you have to but this is what y'all got to really understand. And I'm gonna end the video with this. All black women ain't in Hollywood. All black women ain't in the political class. All black women ain't in the 92 fucking elitist class. Most of them are not. You're talking about like what, 5% of black women, if that, maybe 7 or 8, if that, right? So the vast majority of black women are out here like everybody. And so if men bounce the fuck out, they will be affected. And all that you hate black women, that's why you not fucking black women shit. That ain't gonna mean shit. That ain't gonna mean shit. Because the more you keep pushing that you hate black women, I mean, the more black men are just gonna say fuck it. and quite frankly, the more you hurt, because the dudes like Gab, George, all them dudes that wanna talk about black love, you're undercut. You undercut them by saying that. Because at the end of the day, ain't nobody giving a fuck about shame. You look at these Z's and what these Z's saw. I don't understand what y'all doing is gonna give them a reason to stay. But anyway, but Mace, like Tariq has said that he got a title, the fake gender divide. And what he's trying to do is do the same thing that Shirley was doing, which is they want to say it's the government just creating the division. I'm like, are you fucking serious? That's what you're gonna go. I'm not saying the government doesn't take advantage of it. I'm damn sure not saying that. But what I am saying is and I'm not saying they don't stoke it, but a little bit. But what I'm saying is the core of it is something black people will have to solve if we're gonna solve it. You can't vote the government into changing that. Benign neglect works for a lot of reasons, not just the gender thing. And we're gonna have to be honest, and honest in a way, honest in yeah. And that's the thing, and that's the last vestige that they really have. But I'm gonna tell you something, and this is how it's gonna happen. I'm gonna end this video with this. This is how it's gonna happen in the next, I would say, 10 years, because that's what it'll take. 10 years. The more, because you got to remember, these Z's like that are 15, they'll be 25, like 10 years, right? The more black men that leave, the louder black women are going to get about where the fuck are the men at. And they're not going to want to hear what the church got to say. They not going to want to hear what the what a lot of these pro black dudes got to say. They not going to want to hear that. And it's gonna get to the point where the shit is so loud, the shit is so blind, like the shit is so obvious, you just can't keep on pawning it off. You can't keep pawning it off as well, dudes are. You can't keep saying that because at the end of the day, you're gonna find well, there's no leverage. You have no leverage. Well, what about the race? What about it? What about it? And it's going to be to the point where the numbers, you can't just say, oh, well, they're fucked up because the numbers, it's too many numbers. The gap is way too wide. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen before that happens. And this is how you know we're getting there is you're going to see bisexuality in females off the goddamn charts. You're going to see women coupling up with women. I'm talking about black women. And that shit is going to see, and that shit's going to look retarded because it's going to be like, okay, you all are a minority population. Why is it that you all are coupling with other women rather than just getting with other men of other races or other whatever? And some women will do that. Some women will be forced to do that out of necessity. But what you're going to start finding is they're going to have to accept a certain type of man that they're not used to accepting because them dudes, because then that's when their racial place is going to really show up. Because when black women are dealing with non-black men, all that gynocracy shit goes out the fucking window. That goes out the fucking window. And they're not going to want to give that shit up. And so you're not even going to see as many do that as you would otherwise think. And that shit, it's going to look goofy. Watch. You already see it. You already see a lot of black females coupling up. And they're gonna be like, well, what about these dudes? And then at some point they're gonna try to shame dudes by calling dudes up. More and more dudes are gonna be, and then they're gonna make dudes look goofy, or they're gonna try to have dudes interview other dudes, and then they're gonna be like, oh, but why you do like they're gonna try to get louder and louder and louder before the balloon pops. But it's gonna pop. Anyway, it's nigga simping. And I'm not saying that like, oh, I wish that would happen. I hope that happens. I really don't give a shit one way or the other at this point. But what I will say is that's just my prediction. That's not about what I hope would happen. That's like some fucking 666 Christian shit. Oh, you speak it out there. So blah blah. That's all I'm saying. I'm serious. Because you already seeing it. You already seeing it. You're already seeing it. That's what I'm saying, Black Guru. And a lot of dudes are coming to that conclusion quicker and quicker and quicker. I mean, like the millennials are really the last generation where you really gonna hear a conversation about it. That's really what y'all don't really understand. We're the last generation. That's why a lot of this shit skews like late 20s and then up. Because we're the last people that's even gonna talk to you about it. Most other motherfuckers are just gonna do them. They're not even. They're gonna be on some what the UK is on. They're just gonna bounce. They're just gonna do them, and whatever they want to do is what they want to do. It ain't gonna be no obligation. BGS is already talking about this shit. So anyway, appreciate it, y'all. That being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.